Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're looking at a pretty massive paradigm shift when it comes to professional networking. Look, if you hear the word networking and immediately picture awkward mixers, name tags, and, lukewarm coffee, you definitely aren't alone. But the source material we're diving into today offers a totally different approach. It's about treating your relationships not as this forced chore, but as a long-term financial investment. We're talking about the architecture of strategic social capital. So let's just jump right in. All right, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover redefining your social capital, then quality over quantity. Third is the power of misfits. Fourth, auditing your relational blueprint. And finally, your weekly investment plan. Okay, part one, redefining your social capital, a lifelong investment. We've really got to establish a brand new foundation here. So strategic social capital is defined as a long-term, evolving asset. It's a lifelong investment, functioning much like a retirement account for your career. And I want you to really let that metaphor sink in for a second. When you open a 401k, well, actually any retirement account really, you don't just dump in a few bucks, walk away for 30 years and hope for the best, right? And you certainly don't wait until the day before you retire to start saving. You make consistent, thoughtful deposits over time, letting compound interest work its absolute magic. Your professional network works the exact same way. It requires continuous, proactive investment. The relationships you invest in today might not give you a massive return tomorrow, but over a decade, that social capital compounds into unparalleled opportunities, mentorships, and massive career leaps. There is just such a stark contrast here. Think about traditional networking. It's reactive. It's waiting until you desperately need a job or a favor, and then frantically reaching out to people you literally haven't spoken to in 3 years. It feels transactional, it feels anxious, and honestly, people see right through it. Strategic social capital, on the other hand, is proactive. You aren't waiting until you need something. You make building connections just a normal, stress-free habit. You're checking in, maybe sharing a cool article, offering help, way before you ever ask for a single thing in return. Moving right along to section 2, quality over quantity, deepening connections. In financial terms, this is basically your asset allocation. A really solid network portfolio rests on a few key pillars. First up, prioritize meaningful, deep relationships over sheer volume. Look, having 5,000 LinkedIn connections means absolutely nothing if 0 people take your call on a random Tuesday afternoon. We want to maintain open, deep networks, really focusing our energy on cultivating real trust. But here is the crucial part. You have to continuously learn and grow to increase your own value. Relationships go both ways. By constantly expanding your skills, mastering a new trend or learning a new system, you essentially become a blue-chip stock in someone else's portfolio. You bring immense value to the community, and that naturally draws those high-quality connections right back to you. And that feeds perfectly into adaptability. A smart portfolio manager knows that when the market shifts, you've got to adjust your holdings. Same goes for your social capital. Your network is going to change depending on your career stage. What served you beautifully as an entry-level analyst might not be what you need as a senior director. You have to learn how to adapt. Knowing when to activate certain relationships, and honestly, when it's okay to gently dial back others without burning bridges. Like if you transition from a technical role into management, you're probably going to need to dial up your connections with HR and leadership, while relying a bit less on your former peers for daily tasks. It's a dynamic, breathing ecosystem. All right, section 3, the power of misfits, embracing outsiders. This might totally challenge how you think about fitting in at work. Let me just ask you this directly. Are you an organizational misfit? Now, normally being called a misfit sounds like a bad thing, right? It implies you don't fit in. But in the architecture of strategic social capital, being a bit of an outsider or kind of floating on the fringes of multiple groups is actually a massive strategic asset. It is the ultimate portfolio diversification. The source material specifically tells us to zigzag across different areas or groups. Why? To gain diverse perspectives and opportunities. Think about it. If you only ever network with people in your specific department, with your exact job title, your network is incredibly vulnerable. It's an echo chamber. But if you zigzag, say you're in marketing, but you regularly grab coffee with the software engineers, or you're in HR, but you're tight with the sales team, you suddenly become this vital bridge of information. You unlock opportunities that siloed thinkers are never going to see. You become the incredibly valuable misfit who can connect the dots across the entire company. Which brings us to section 4. Auditing your relational blueprint, strategic alignment. So you've built the portfolio, now let's talk active management. This is essentially a strategic peer review. You can't just set these relationships on autopilot. Step 1, get together with a mentor or a peer you really trust. Step 2, sit down and actively review your relational blueprint. Look hard at exactly where your energy is going and who you're spending time with. And step 3, make sure this blueprint actually aligns with your personal goals. For instance, if your goal is to transition into tech in the next 2 years, but your blueprint shows you spend 100% of your networking time in the healthcare industry, well, your portfolio is completely misaligned. Doing this audit is how you catch those gaps and course correct with real, deliberate intention. And finally, Section 5, your weekly investment plan, actionable steps. We've talked a lot of theory. Let's get into how you actually build that compound growth starting right now. 1. That is the magic number to remember. Moving forward, I want you to commit to a baseline of doing just one connect and grow activity every single week. That's it. It doesn't have to be some huge undertaking. It could literally be sending one thoughtful email, hopping on one 15-minute virtual coffee, or just introducing 2 people in your network who should probably know each other. Just one consistent action. When you commit to that single action every week, you start generating what we can call the weekly dividend. This constant, low-effort investment unlocks opportunities that just do not exist on public job boards. It generates key resources exactly when you need them. It drives tangible business growth. And honestly, most importantly, it builds a lifelong foundation of support. When you have a really tough week or you hit a massive career roadblock, this is the safety net that catches you. That is the compound interest of human connection. So it really does all boil down to this classic saying, your network is your net worth. It's almost a cliche at this point, but hopefully you see it now as a literal financial reality. The quality, depth, and diversity of your relationships are going to dictate the ceiling of your professional success way more than your technical skills ever could. So I'm going to leave you with this. If your social capital truly is a retirement account for your career, what's your balance looking like right now? Are you making those continuous deposits? Or did you basically just open the account today? Whatever the answer is, the best time to start investing was 10 years ago. The second best time? It's right now. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.